There's no such thing as safe ice.
Still ahead, the science behind ice shelves. Our Brittney Merlot breaks down the major ice incidents we've seen this year and why they happened.
And it's snowing out there. If you're driving through the Fox Valley, a few flurries flying around. Don't worry, it's not much. We're not looking at any major accumulations just to trace. Temperatures, though, fantastic compared to the past 48 hours. We're going to get into those mid-20s for us today, all ahead of another cold front headed our way. I'm going to let you know those chilling details coming up in my full forecast. Did you know that every weekend in January we've had an ice emergency and rescue occur? And with temperatures this frigid, anglers head to the ice to go to their ice houses, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. But how do you know if the ice is safe?
The ice is always changing, so I'm going to take you to the shores of the bay and break down those ice cold details. While some of us dread the long winter months, some of us can't wait for the coldest snaps to strike. As the water turns to ice, before you take a step over that crack, there's some risks that keep repeating themselves.
It happens so fast. There's no such thing as safe ice, but better ice is going to be developed on the really cold nights we have with not a lot of wind.
As the bay begins to freeze from southwest to northeast, the deepest waters freeze up last. That's around Chambers Island. But dangerous ice can be found in places like bends on the bay or the mouth of the Fox River, with colliding water that's beneath it, creating ice that's 20% thinner. Just like the weather, ice is always changing. Notice weeks ago, the line of open water and thin ice cutting through to the head of the bay.
Have you ever seen like an icebreaker go through and then it breaks up all those chunks and they float up to the middle of the channel and then they freeze like that? That's rubble ice.
The Brown County Sheriff's Office says barge traffic in early January may have weakened the ice on parts of the bay.
That can be very unstable because it has all the broken pieces and then it freezes in the thin spots in between, so there could only be 1 or 2 inches of ice right there.
The Coastguard performs ice-breaking operations on the bay until the Soo locks fully freeze in February. By having this open and weak ice water channel, the ice sheets have room to move around. If your life is riding on just 6 inches of ice out into the open water, panic sets in. There's a few things you could pay attention to first before you head out on the ice. One, if you see ice heaves and shoves, that's an indication of some weak ice. Also, if it's snowing outside, that snow acts as an insulator. It actually keeps the ice warmer and weaker. Not to mention, if you hear that loud crack, you should probably get out of your ice house and investigate what's going on, because chances are you could have broken away from shore. And then you could see that there's open water right here. And if that happens, your ice sheet's likely floating away. And the cause? The wind. It's called wind stress, when gusty winds cause friction and force on the ice, weakening it and pushing it around, leading to life-threatening accidents like the bay has seen throughout January.
Especially like with what we call the pressure ridges. So the wind pushes those pressure ridges and it breaks the thinner ice in between and breaks those shelves off.
Which was the case for the 27 stranded on a drifting ice trunk when south winds began gusting. So always check your weather forecast. Yes, indeed, because those frigid waters of Lake Michigan, they show no mercy. If you were actually to fall into that cold water, do you realize that you only have 1 minute to get your breathing under control? Because it's like a shock when you fall in, it's hard to breathe.
Man.
And then you have 10 minutes of meaningful movement. That's about as long as you can actually move to try to get out of the water. And then you have 1 hour before you're gonna lose consciousness.
That is so scary, Brittney.
Terrifying.
Really terrifying. But you know, it's been so cold this week. Have things changed? What does it look like now?
Yes, so ice always changes every single day. So those cold temperatures were clutch. We wanted those. You can see the very thick ice kind of from right there through the head of the bay. It is still very thin. That's that rubble ice. We're seeing open water too still ongoing. So if you have that south wind, it can take some of this and just whoop, start to move it around. So just keep that in mind. But a lot of those inland lakes are completely ice locked, looking good. Like Lake Winnebago looks pretty good right now. The only areas I'd be a little weary of is right about here. It looks like some thin ice. The key is the wind makes it freeze unevenly. So you may measure one spot of 2 inches or less and think, no, I'm not going to go on it. And then somebody else measures 4 inches and they're out on it. So to keep that in mind, you got to keep measuring with your auger where exactly you're going to be and how much ice is in between where you're going to be or not. So please be careful out there, but have fun. Ice fishing is a blast. Otherwise, temperatures yesterday were fantastic to create more thicker ice. -24 was some of the temperatures that we felt just north of Green Bay. 30 below into Antigo as well. Then Fond du Lac hitting -21, Oconto as well. Appleton, -13 was your coldest temperature. And here in Green Bay, we hit 17 below, making it the coldest we've been so far this season. Finally rose to 11 degrees yesterday, but it felt like -11 as the high temperature. So when you head outside today, it feels like a heat wave. Spring is here, 20 degrees into Green Bay. In fact, we are 30 to 50 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday morning, which is a huge swing in just 24 hours. So sunrise at 7:16 today as we take a look outside at Appleton, 19 degrees. We're all into those upper teens to low 20s here this morning. And of course, those winds still breezy, so it's knocking our feel-like temperatures down to something more tolerable, but still not into the 20s. So those winds are out of the southwest up to 15 miles per hour sustained, gusting into the 30s, making us feel like the single digits by the lakeshore and also through the Fox Valley. Notice these yellows and reds. They're coming from the north. Our winds are going to switch this afternoon and bring in yet another colder air mass our way. So we are going to stay breezy today, making our high temperatures feel cooler than 28 degrees, but tolerable. That cold front right now pushing in some snow from Kewaunee through Oshkosh, just leaving Appleton and Green Bay here this morning. You can see some more lake effect snow showers and more snow into Illinois too. All of this is from this system. It's kind of creating those waves of disturbances out ahead of it as well as it surges in. The colder air. So there's that wind shift around noon today. That's when the scattered showers, snow showers usually will wind down. Then we'll start to see some clearer skies and colder temperatures spilling in. In fact, those winds will be calmer tomorrow, which is good news, only up to about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So our high temperatures of the teens will feel more like those single digits to right around 0 as this cold snap surges in. So we'll wake up tomorrow to sunny skies, cold temperatures, and we'll stay sunny all day long. No precipitation there in the forecast. So get outside today and go sledding. Enjoy this. 28-degree high temperature, crashing sub-zero once again tonight, and then into those teens. Not too bad after what we just experienced, and I have a surprise for you guys. How about this? Next week, flirting with the freezing mark, possibly getting near 40 degrees with a wintry mix headed our way. That groundhog, I don't know if you love him or hate him, but we're going to find out on Wednesday what he has to say.
I think I'm going to love him. I just have a good feeling.
Good feelings? Me
I have
too.
a good feeling.
Me too.
Brittney, thank you.
You're welcome.